All right, BP Hero here at the kitchen table tonight, and let's talk about these units. If you have seen this post, then you know what we're here for. Got some pure integrity Frankenstein bats, basically. We got a traditional integrity, which is what this bat is. Started out as a one piece, and then my guy Ryan Johnson had a couple of these that were broken. Some of these break right up here, and he had a couple that were, so he cut them off at the taper, put some alloy Miken handles on them, put an end cap in the end, and made a good old softball bat out of it. He's not in a position to swing right now, so he sent these to me so we could try them out. I thought it'd be super cool and unique just to kind of see what they would be like, and it was interesting. I didn't expect to see a big difference going from just this inch in the taper right here. This one basically has about an inch more cut off of it, so it makes the taper of the barrel a little bit shorter and makes the length of the handle, in theory, a little bit longer. The exposed handle anyway. Both of these handles are going to be the same length, but as far as like how it connects and rides in the inside of the barrel, it's going to be a lot different, and it made for some interesting feedback, I will say, and kind of how the bat's handled and felt. I really didn't expect it, but I got started with this one first. Then Ryan made this one later after the fact and sent this one to us too, just because he wanted to put some inload in it and kind of see what it would be like. And like I said, messing with the different cut length on the taper here. And then just for comparison's sake, between these two integrities, I'm going to put some swings in here with my gamer as well, just so you can see the difference. So with all this blabbing out of the way, let's get into the action. All right, so getting started with the first one that he sent us way back in the day. The reason there was a huge gap in the Facebook post that I made and the video that you're seeing is he ended up sending me another one. I wanted to try to get both of them into one video here. So by the time he got that in and got the time to swing it and got everything done with it, here we are. One thing that we noticed right away, it is a little bit of a cooler day when we're hitting this one, but the sound this thing produced was silly. I mean, like 1,000 swing Miken good. You know, if anybody's swung like a Primo or a Freak 30 or something like that, this got just an absolute ton of swings on it, and every ball just sounds like a shotgun off of it. That's almost what this thing sounded like, and it did sound like this on the warmer days too. It wasn't just because of the cooler weather on this day, but I thought it was super interesting how just changing up and putting a different handle on a bat can affect the sound. I always think stuff like that is kind of interesting and cool. And for whatever reason, the construction of the taper, the length of the handle, the length of the cut taper, whatever it would be, by the time we figured out kind of how we needed to swing this thing, figured out it did have a good, like, smooth balance feel to it, and figured out that the sweet spot was a little bit more towards the end. I don't know why doing something like this would change kind of the sweet spot of the bat. Maybe it's just like what felt good and what felt bad with the bat. I'm not 100% sure, but it was noticeably better if you worked out towards the little spot here. I marked it on the picture. It was noticeably better if you worked out towards the end of the bat, kind of off this spot right here. But I was fresh off my shoulder injury here and thought I still had a really good round with this thing. This thing was a lot of fun to swing. I had an absolute blast with it.
Over the monster.
I'll let you check out some more of these, and then we'll go over and look at the inlet.
Well, I still got my safety glasses on. I guess I still had my safety glasses on my hat, preparing for the worst. Hey, you lost a dryer sheet, by the way. Came out of your pocket when you swung.
I don't even know where it came out of.
When you swung and it hit the ground and it was something white, I was like, oh, the bat! And I was like, oh, wait.
So I think that's like... There we go.
Oh, dang it! I stood in the way. I know I was in the way.
All right, so getting things started with the end-loaded model here. And I wish I could say that it was just as fun as the quote-unquote balanced one that we tried, but it just wasn't. I kind of talked to Ryan about this, and talking with my BP partner Brian here as well. Me and him hit all the time. We hit all kinds of different bats. He does a lot of the bat testing with me, and kind of the one thing that we basically concluded is, since this one had a little bit different of a connection as far as where the cut was at, it could also make a difference in how the handle rides into the barrel, which is going to change how the bat feels as it flexes and moves and everything else. I mean, whatever it was, you could see a noticeable drop in performance, as you can see in the video here. We're not great hitters anyway. We never claimed to be, but we look like a couple of turd sandwiches here just because the performance drop off with this thing was that significant. The bat almost seemed to do better with about like an 80-ish% swing, and I'm guessing that probably had something to do with the fact that this handle probably wasn't made for this barrel, so there might have been a little bit of, no pun intended, connection integrity there. Maybe swinging it harder was giving the issue of making the handle and connection flex too much, which could take away from the performance. It could have been the fact that that contributed with the end load is going to basically, when the ball hits the bat, the end load is going to intensify that effect. If that is for sure what the problem was, is the connection becoming somewhat compromised. The end load is just going to kind of further that feeling, and that could have also been a factor as well. That's really the only thing we could think of, because these both had the same handles, and it was just a little bit of a difference in the cut is really all the difference was, and the fact that this one had an end load to it. But it was super interesting to swing this thing, especially after swinging the other one, just to see, because we were all excited to get some swinging with this thing, thinking like, oh man, the other one felt good, so this one's going to have an end load. It's going to be awesome. And just goes to show kind of the sciencey side of things. Maybe this is why companies choose certain length tapers or choose certain handles or that kind of thing. I just really thought the scientific side of this stuff was really cool, and I was glad that Ryan let us be a part of this. And now, the grand finale. Let's go check out what a gamer looks like in a one-piece style. All right, so here we are with my Pure Integrity gamer. This thing is, I won't say on its last leg, but it looks horrendous. As you saw in the intro video there, with all the paint chips and everything else. I thought I spotted a crack in it a while back, but as luck may have it with the Pure, the paint flaked off some more, and turns out it wasn't cracked. It was just a really nasty looking paint flake. This bat is testing somewhere around 200. These are proven to be somewhat durable, other than the paint just absolutely flying off of them. This one's testing right around 200. These other bats are in the 240, 250 range, if my memory serves me correctly. So yes, we are going to get a little bit more performance out of this, but I will say that ultimately the one-piece Pure Integrity, the way the bat was supposed to be made, did feel and did perform better than the other two, what you may call Frankenstein models. The balanced one was definitely really close to being something really, really good. Just a couple of maybe subtle tweaks or changes there would make that bat into something that would be an absolute blast to swing. Just maybe something, and like I said, I don't know why it would have made a difference, but doing this with the handles and cutting the tapers messed with the sweet spot location, and maybe it was just how forgiving the bat was, but as long as you worked out towards the end, everything was good. So maybe if it would be one of those things where you could find the happy medium of maybe a different type of handle, or maybe how to get the connection to be a little more sturdy, maybe that would make a big difference. But nonetheless, I thought this was really cool to be able to do something like this. So thanks to Ryan for sending this out to us. We had an absolute blast swinging these things. Thanks for you guys for checking the videos out. Thanks for Brian for volunteering for a science experiment. Thankfully, nobody died. So BP here's out of here. Swing hard in case you hit it, and I'll catch you next time.
Steady on two right now.
Is that it?